Happy holidays! No matter what holiday you celebrate, it is a time of celebration. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, merry happy to everyone. But even though it's a time of celebration, so many of us dread the holidays. Last week, we spoke about some ways to survive all the holiday angst. And now today, I'd like to share with you some tips on how to survive some of the family dynamics that so many of us dread. So do you dread those visits with your family? Are you already thinking about, if my father says one more comment about me dipping into the chips, I'm going to blow? If Aunt Mary asks me one more time when I'm going to get married, I'm going to bite her head off. We all have those family things that pop up that so many of us dread. And so instead of this being a time of enjoyment and pleasure, we are already anticipating the worst scenario. And so for so many of us who fly in, visit family, we need to find some ways to just get over ourselves, deal with the madness, and because truth be told, no matter how perfect your family is, there is always some dysfunction. There's always something in our families, a brother, an aunt, a parent, that is going to hit a nerve with us. It's human nature. It always happens. So how do we get past all that and make the holidays memorable? Family dynamics always surface when we're all together in the room. And do you ever get the sense, especially if you're going home to visit family and if you're going back to your family home, when you walk through the door, you start to feel like a child again. You start to succumb to the way our brothers and sisters treated us or the way our parents treated us. And no matter how professional we may be or how accomplished in our life, that is a natural feeling for us to all of a sudden quiver into childhood and prepare for the way we always were treated. And we put ourselves in that mode. And that's part of why so much of what transpires affects us the way it does, is because we don't put ourselves in today or where we are today. We allow all those childhood family relationships that have festered through the years to come to surface when we're all in that room together. And those childhood relationships, they all have something that may remind us of not necessarily the happiest of times or the best of times. So we really need to be able to prepare for that so that we can make the holidays memorable and enjoyable. And it is possible. But how do we do it? How do we survive it and not just survive it, but enjoy it and create lasting memories? You know, and I'll mention this again later on, but I really want to reinforce the fact that we never know when this may be the last time that we are all together for Christmas. And so if something negative or unpleasant happens during this Christmas and we're not all together again next year, you will always be reminded of the unpleasantness. But if you make it great, lasting memories and make it a wonderful time, that is what you will have to hold on to for every Christmas moving forward. So how do we do that? Okay, so a few tips. First of all, you need to plan ahead. Thank you for the hearts. I love the hearts. Thank you. You need to plan ahead. Most of the time when we think of planning ahead, we anticipate the worst scenarios. As I said earlier, we think about who's going to come at us with what and who's going to ask us this. And if she says that and yada, yada, yada. And we all do it. We all do it. So planning ahead, though, is really thinking about us taking control of what we want this holiday to be like. We can't control how everyone else acts. We can only control how we respond to it. So it's really important for us to set ourselves up for a great experience and put aside the negative. And I know that's hard to do, but when we expect the worst, that's typically what's going to show up. So let's put out there what we want to receive. Let's put it out there. This is going to be the best Christmas yet. This is the first time in a long time that we're all going to be together. This is going to be great. Let's all set aside whatever. And remember, we're family. We love each other. Remember the happy memories. Hold on to the pleasantries before you all get together. Create that sense for yourself of why you're getting together, why this is important for you all to be together. So plan ahead. Mindset is half the battle. Actually, I like to think sometimes it's 90% of the battle, but it's what we create, what it is that we expect this holiday to be like. So change your mindset before you go in. Change your mindset as to what your expectations are. I always say no expectations, no disappointments. Okay, so expect the best and go into the holidays knowing that that is what you want to receive from this holiday. That takes a little work to build yourself up to it, especially if you're traveling, and prior to traveling, you're trying to get so much done in the shopping and the decorating and the cookies and wherever else. But it's a key element, is really putting yourself in the right mindset before we all get together. We can't expect other people to change. So if, you have a family member that is known for out of sorts behavior, okay, we can't expect them to be any different this year. So it's really up to us, there again, to understand how we want to react to it. If we don't want to have to respond to someone's behavior, don't sit next to them at the table. Sit at the opposite end of the table. If things get out of hand and you really feel like you can't control yourself, join the kids at the kids table. Change the energy. Change the energy for yourself. You can't change it for everyone. You can't expect people to change, but you can expect you and change your own energy. So do whatever it takes for you to do that. Jump up and go help in the kitchen and escape the person or behavior that is a trigger for you. So avoid those hot spots and find a nice way to do that. I always like to escape to the kitchen because, well, especially when my mom was alive, we had some of the greatest conversations in the kitchen preparing the dinner and getting the dinner out. And so those are some of the best memories. So find that niche, find that arena, find that area that is going to take you out of whatever is a hotspot for you and put you into a more pleasant experience. Set boundaries. Understand what is acceptable for you. Don't take the bait. We all know that there are family members that bait us. They try and get under our skin, and it's just human nature. It's just the way some of them are. And some people really irritate us. There again, set those boundaries, what's acceptable to you. The holidays are not the time to try and heal old wounds or, bring things from the past up. That's not what the holidays are about. The holidays are about bringing us all together to remind us who we are collectively as a family and why we love each other. So it's not a time to heal old wounds. If there's something that's bothering you, just, put it on a shelf for the holidays and keep it for a later conversation. But the holidays is not the time to do that. And especially, if there are other family members or friends who are invited and sitting at the table and joining you, don't air your dirty laundry. Create the boundaries for yourself as to what you accept and what you will and will not accept. And if something is totally unacceptable, you can always take a walk outside, or you can always say, gee, I'm really full. I'm just going to take a walk and get some fresh air, go outside, breathe, change the atmosphere. Just take care of you. Because as I said, you can't control what everyone else is doing. There's a funny story that happened many years ago when my parents were still alive. And I always like to share this when I talk about the family at holidays, because it really is a key way of diverting from a lot of angst and a lot of the stuff that we all hold on to when we're together as a family. And my dad, who always sat at the head of the table and was very stern, did not want to hear any crap at this table. So we all had to smile and be happy, even though there might have been multiple things going on in the family that, agitated us or that we were anxious about. And one of the funny things about it was, here we are, and my dad insisting, I don't want to hear any crap. And we're all smiling these false smiles. And my niece comes out with, let me tell you about my family. And she proceeded through this comedic routine of everything that each one of us had going on in our life. And total opposite to what my dad wanted, but the way she presented it was so humorous that we all ended up howling, because no matter how much we try and avoid some of the stuff that's going on, no matter how much we try and avoid it, the truth of the matter is when we don't talk about it, it's always an elephant in the room. And so when she created this whole routine, which was so funny, we could not help but laugh about it. When she started going through this, and it was a good 20 minutes to a half hour, she went down the list of, who's been married 3 times, who's living with who got arrested. I mean, she went through this whole thing, and we just started howling because the truth of the matter is we all have our crap. We all have it. And so when we sit down as a family and we try and make believe that we are this perfect Norman Rockwell family, we're only kidding ourselves. And that's what creates all the anxiety around the holidays, is that we try and put on this facade that everything is perfect, even when it's not. And so sometimes, just approaching the elephant in the room, that in itself can be funny. And there again, it has to be done in a humorous way, but none of us can escape it. And so humor and talking about some of our situations in a funny way can really, really break the ice. And everybody's stuff is out on the table. And it's funny because, no matter how we try and avoid it, we all have something going on. And unless you're experiencing it, it's funny to other people looking in. And it takes away the power that people have over you about putting your stuff out there. It's all out there. So what? It's family, So that I always am reminded of that, when we're together as family. It's like, put it out there, laugh about it, like, so what? And we're still here to talk about it. And I always like to bring up to another way of dealing when you're planning ahead with being with family. Many of you may have heard or read the story of the girl who was at the airport with her father and saying goodbye, and then there were a lot of people watching. And when they left, the dad said, "I wish you enough." And it became a very powerful message. And if we think about what we wish for our family members, there again, it's a plan ahead thing. But when we're looking forward to these times, what do we wish for each of those family members, regardless of what our experience is or where we're at with them now? And it might be a good opportunity there again to break the ice at the table if we're feeling some tension or anxiety, is to go around the table. And what do you wish for each other for this holiday season? And there really are things that, we wish for our family members, even if we know they're going through a difficult time. We wish them love, we wish them happiness, we wish them peace. But to be able to go around the table and share that with each other is really an expression of the love that we really have for each other as a family. And isn't that why we're all together? Isn't that why we go through all of this anxiety and all of this holiday stuff? Is really just to show our love. And as I said earlier, it really is an opportunity for us to create those lasting memories. Many of us have had a very difficult year and experienced a lot of change and loss in our life. And a lot of people who might have been with us last year will not be with us this year. And we don't know that the people who are with us this year will be with us next year. And so the memories that we create for this Christmas can be the very lasting memories that we have every Christmas moving forward. So it is really up to us to make those memories positive and lasting, and memories that we really want to hold on to. So create a tradition of sharing what it is we wish for each other, so that we do have those positive, lasting memories to hold on to. So just to recap some of the tips to help you cope, okay? Plan ahead, change your mindset, think about what the positive can be, and don't think about the negative aspects. Plan ahead with your coping strategies. How will you handle it when someone does say or do something that will fluster you or trigger you? So plan ahead about that. Remember, no expectations, no disappointments. Set boundaries for yourself, okay? Think about what you will accept and what you won't, and what you're going to do if someone really tries to bait you into reacting. Think about those next steps. Think about taking a walk, showing up in the kitchen, sitting at the kids' table. Kids are always, if you have kids at your family gatherings, always great icebreakers. You can get the kids to get up and sing or dance or whatever. It always breaks the tension in the room. And I, for one, I'm a kid at heart, and I get up there with them and start singing and dancing. And so no matter how anxious I may be about a situation, it helps diffuse my own angst. So consider that, set those boundaries, and consider how you're going to diffuse things that might trigger you. And remember, you cannot control other people. You can only control you. So, if you drink too much wine as a way of thinking that, that's going to help, typically I've found from past experience, especially in my family, we drink a lot of wine. It doesn't always help. If anything, sometimes it escalates situations because people are much more verbal than they might normally be. So, you know what? Control you. Control you. Stay mindful. Be in the moment. Be in the moment thinking about the presence of everyone, your presence, and why you are in the presence of these people. That is all you can do, is control you. And there again, create the memories that you want for you and that you want to hold on to. So make this your best Christmas ever, your best Hanukkah ever, whatever the season may be. I wish you a very happy holidays. I personally say Merry Christmas, but I respect and honor everyone's holiday because it is a time for all of us to remember the reason for the season, however it is we celebrate it. So next week, next Wednesday at 11 a.m., I'll be sharing more holiday tips. And there again, 11 o'clock on Wednesday, I will be here to share that with you. And you can also meet me on my Facebook page at ChristineCottagio.com. I'll be sharing some tips there in the course of the week. And if you have any questions or ideas about how you can maneuver the holidays and get through some of these anxious times, I'm available to help you with that. And of course, I always have my Facebook group, and it's predominantly for women ready to rise. And thank you for the gentlemen who are here, because this is a topic for all of us, not just for women. So I'm happy to have you here. Thank you all, and wonderful, happy holidays to everyone. Ciao for now.